Shirt show. All right, let's go.
Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Talking shirt! Shirt show! Shirt man! All right! Episode 138 of Shirt Show. We're on the show floor at ISS Long Beach in California. Let's go!
Hey, this is just like a normal podcast for us.
Are we on the right side? Is this the right position? Do you like this position?
Well, there's others better.
Check, check. We're good?
Can you hear me?
Jared's over there. Hey, Jared.
Hey. He's the man helping us out.
So Long Beach 2023.
Yeah.
We're here.
We're here. We haven't seen any of it yet.
It took you 2,023 hours to get here, I think.
It did. True. Yeah, yesterday was exhausting. I got 2 hours of sleep, got on an airplane, fell asleep on the airplane, woke up thinking I would be halfway to Texas, and I was still on the ground in Syracuse. And then I missed my connecting flight, and then I waited 3 hours, got on another flight, got here, went and hung out with the Guild and BOD members and saw the show floor without anybody in here, which was pretty awesome. And then we went and had some delicious conversation and delicious steaks with our buddy Frank and his son.
We did, and I wanted to be like one of the guys, you know, so I ordered a steak. I never order a steak, and I ordered a big-ass steak, actually, that was way bigger than yours, honestly.
I can't wait to post the photo of this.
There's no photos. And if you do see photos, they're photoshopped, for sure. But anyway, it was really good. I had at least 4 ounces, I would say.
I think I had 32 ounces.
Because you finished.
Because I finished yours.
But it was fun. Thank you, Frank. You are, I don't know.
Frank, we love you so much.
We do. You're the best at
Frank's
so many
team,
things.
All those guys, great conversation last night. Always fun to hang out with.
Speaking of, you know, and I have to get this button out. Like I said before, if I don't have the button, he fucking rides my ass. Dylan?
You ready?
You want to push it? You want to push it?
Jared's going to push it.
Here we go.
Frank.
Perfect. That's right. It all starts with the screen. And whether it's new stretches or restretches, Frank and his team do it the best.
We found out last night that Frank really likes the restretches. So if you could just send him all your restretches, it makes him happy.
Well, to find out more, go to graphicscreenfashion.com, FFFFF.
Rank.com.
Or
greatfuckingscreens.com.
And listen, if you're not getting screens from Frank, well, I just feel sorry for you. I did that for you, Frank. Easy Way. You know, cleaning screens is no fun, but Easy Way makes it way more funner. Their line of eco-friendly chemicals will make reclaiming screens a whole lot easier.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have a real sick booth over there with them and Blue Water.
And free puppies.
Free puppies. They don't run them through the machine.
Ever. Check them out at easyway.com. Easy Way.
It's the easiest way.
There were like that. I have puppies on my mind because of Vegas. They were printing on puppies or something, right?
Yeah.
Or for promo products.
Yeah.
It's genius. Could your shop use a little help from a friend? Then you need to go to 1-900-HOTStuff.com and get in touch with Nick or Lucas.
Nick or Lucas. I want to see Nick. I want Nick or Lucas.
I haven't seen him yet.
I saw Lucas today.
I haven't seen him yet, but yeah, you're right. We need some Nick. We need a little
Nick. Yeah, I need some Nick.
So look, they take care of all of your needs in
life.
Yeah. I mean, whatever it is, you name it.
I almost guarantee if you ask Nick for literally anything, he would get it for you.
Probably within an hour.
Yeah.
He's just that kind of guy. Chromaline is another one of our sponsors, and they are here. I have not seen them yet, though.
I have not run into him yet. We haven't done anything.
Kevin, where are you? Yet. Kev? Are you out there? Wave.
Okay.
There's a huge...
Oh, he's over there.
Oh, hey. Choosing the right emulsion for your shop is complicated, and that's why we love Chromoline. Go to chromoline.com to watch all of
Kev's
vids. Excellent. Edit that part out, please. Or put that through, what's that called? Auto tune.
Yeah.
Is that what they call it?
Like some explosions in the background, lasers.
Right. So you can go to chromoline.com and watch all of his videos about the screen room. That can't be it. That's it. That was too easy.
We should also thank Gildan for hooking us up with this badass podcast booth.
Dude, yes.
Look at this thing. It's beautiful.
It says shirt show right there.
It's got shirt show on the wall.
They screen print that?
I don't know what it is. It's on there. But this is awesome. We should just take this wall home. We should just take this booth home. We'll ask them if we can just have
Don't
it
ask.
set up.
We'll just taking it.
Yeah, we'll
Fuck
just
it.
take it.
And a shout out to the Golden Boys, the Golden Press Studio, Jonathan, Corey, Jared. They're
boys.
helping us make this happen.
This sexy man walking by right now. What's up? Come in here. Give me a high five. Come on. Give me a hug. Come on, bring it in. I don't want a high five. What? Come on. I want a hug. Oh, there
I'll
he
take
is.
a hug too. You're on live video right now.
Look at that ass. Hey, we'll see you later. Hey, love you. Bye.
I saw Frank and I went and thanked him again for a dinner last night, and he was getting a pretzel. He offered me one and I said no. And I saw this dude here earlier too. He says turnkey shop for sale, has a QR code printed on his shirt.
Did you scan it?
No, but we could have money. We could probably sell a shop right now.
It's true.
Actually, we're not live, so yeah, that wouldn't work. You'd have to go back in time.
Yeah.
Because anyway, nice. The thought that counts.
Yeah.
The thought that counts.
I don't
So
know
are we
if I
done
wanna
here,
buy that.
Dylan? Is that it?
But-
I haven't seen a single thing in the show, like not one thing.
We're
I
about to.
walked.
So,
Came down the escalator, walked in this booth. We've been here for seems like 4 hours.
and they wouldn't let you in.
Yeah, we tried.
I walked in with my fancy Gildan badge, and they let me in. And then I tried to get Andy in, and they said, "Whoa,
Who's
there's
this
no
guy?"
way this guy is important enough to get in here."
That's okay. I get that a lot. It's fine. And so I waited patiently outside for 15 minutes, and I got a free Dreamsicle energy drink.
Did you say dreamsicle?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I think that's it. We're going to be here tomorrow too. We'll have more to talk about because we'll see more.
Yeah. We'll actually see some show.
I'm really glad to be here with you and next to you, and
Always.
I'm
And Jared, who's just watching us.
yeah.
Yeah, we just so everybody knows, we recorded 2 episodes before we did this sponsor segment, and we're doing 2 more here tomorrow, and we'll try to get a couple episodes out for you.
Yeah, we did this backwards. This is post game.
They were really good. You should listen to them both fully.
Can you recite them word for word, verbatim, right now for us, real quick? And
No. I can't do complex math in my head like Draplin can.
dude, like, did you hear that? He was talking about roulette tables, and he said, "I put 400 on that," and then he told he said the
I don't
payout.
even know what he said. It was just so my mind was blown.
It was like Rain Man.
Yeah.
All right,
All right. Bye. Hey.
hey there.
Hey. So we are here in the Gildan Board of Decorators booth. They were nice enough to set up this podcast situation for us to be here today to do this. And today we have Mitch. Do you want to introduce yourself a little bit?
Hi, guys. Mitch
there.
Heiman with Parent Sportswear, and also chairman for the Board of Decorators.
And we had a lot of fun in Honduras a little while ago.
We sure did.
Yeah.
We sure did.
Did you get steaks too every night?
We did. I didn't partake in the size of the steaks that Dylan did, but yeah, we had steak.
I don't know if I mentioned this last show, and you guys certainly haven't heard this, but when we were in Vegas last week, he had a $139 steak, and he gave me a $15 bite. We worked it out to, I think it was $15, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty good. It was a pretty good
Good
bite.
steak.
Like, I like steak, but I also I don't know if I like this new trend of everywhere I go, everybody expects me to get the largest amount of meat possible. But it was funny last night. Me and Andy went out with Frank from GSF, and Frank was like, "Oh, you got to get the porterhouse." I was like, "Oh, all right, I'll get it." And it was I think it was like a 28 ounce, and it was amazing. It was delicious. But then Andy went with, what'd you get? The 8 ounce? Filet?
Yep. It
And
was
then
a full.
you
It was
ate-
a full 8 ounces.
You ate like
so.
3 ounces of it, and then I had to eat the other.
I for sure ate 4 ounces.
And then
There was
I
a
had to eat
big
the other
baked
4.
potato. The baked potato was bigger than the steak.
Yeah, it was huge.
And you
Yeah.
you ate 20 ounces.
Yes. Yeah. My steak was 28, and then I ate his other 4, so
Oh.
I'm up to 32 of 2 different cuts. Go ahead and introduce yourself a little bit.
Sure. I'm Chuck Ward. I'm the president of sales, marketing, and distribution at Gildan.
Awesome. So, are you guys excited? I know, like walking in, it's pretty awesome. You come right in the front doors and down the escalator. Gildan's like right in your face. Did you guys have a lot of? I mean, it had to have been a lot of input on making the new space here at the show.
Yeah, no, we're excited with our positioning of the booth and the whole positioning of the brands.
Yeah.
So as you saw coming in, we have 3 distinct booths. We've got the American Apparel for the relaunch of American Apparel.
Right.
We're
That's
excited
pretty
about
exciting,
that.
yeah.
We've got the Gildan booth and then the Comfort Colors booth. And, really, we're focusing a lot on the fact that there are 3 distinct brands with 3 distinct purposes.
Right.
And that's the way we separate them for the show. And again, having them as soon as you walk in the door is great because it's that front positioning, gets people right in when they're still refreshed and coming into the show.
Right. One thing I noticed, I know you didn't get a chance to walk through it yet, but me and Mitch did last night, was like you said, it was very distinctive and different for each one. And they each booth seemed to be very education focused on this is why this shirt is good for this. This is why this is good for printability. What was the thought behind all that? Especially because now you have American Apparel relaunch, trying to make them different. Are you just trying to keep it to where this one's good for this one's good for this kind of thing?
Yes, we did a lot of work this past year on a brand positioning and what each brand stands for. You know, if you go back, we acquired brands over time and had several different brands that now we've gotten rid of because really when you looked at it, the brands kind of sat on top of one another. And there was confusion in the market of what do I use each for?
Right.
We said, so we did brand work that said, okay, what do we want to stand for? And really, as you looked at that positioning, you said, okay, here's the way it should be. You have Gildan. And our new campaign's launching today, which we're really excited about. It's just smart. When you're a decorator and you're thinking about, I want quality, consistent quality, I've got a big program, I need a lot of shirts, we're going to be able to provide those at a good value, a good quality, and have all the volume you need. So the positioning there is it's just smart.
Right.
It's just a smart choice. Then you kind of move over to American Apparel. And really the booth here today and the relaunch it was kind of the original fashion basic, right?
Yeah.
And so if you go into the booth, it's pretty neat. It's set up kind of like an art gallery. And it's the 2001 and only, meaning it was the original.
Right.
And we're really going back and just saying that's the premium basic brand that we want to make sure that when you have a premium print, right, that you want to last and you want that quality blank, that's the one to go to. And so it's really, premium print for and timeless classic shirts. I mean, that's what that one's about. And then you kind of move over to the Comfort Colors, and it's really about, we're calling it spread good vibes. I don't know if you had a chance to look at the booth, but when you think about Comfort Colors, that's the brand we have where there's an emotional connection to it, right? If you ask people, they got it when they were in college, or they got it on, tourism, it's a big thing. So they got it on a trip. There's an emotional connection to that brand. And so what we've really made this about is good vibes and the emotional connection people have and the color. And it's just comforting by nature, we call it, because our natural process, the good colors, and just how it makes people
That vintage soft heavy feel. It's like a warm blanket.
Exactly. Sorry, that's probably a long answer, but
No, that's perfect. Yeah,
how we're excited about
Well,
it.
I know like us three as printers, I know the 2001 was huge for a really long time. That was like the go-to fashion shirt. Mitch, did you guys use a lot of that at the Perrin?
A little bit, but I think the challenge with American Apparel in our industry would go oftentimes beyond the shirt. It went to the company, the leadership. There was a lot of things that created a lot of, mixed feelings about American Apparel. Certainly, we did use some, and there was a kind of a cult following with that, I would say. And it'll be interesting to see. I'd love to see that same cult following come back or reintroduce itself with a new group, because I think a lot of the negatives that were associated are obviously taken away. So I think there's a lot of opportunity for American Apparel.
Right.
And even more so, as Chuck was saying, I love how you've really finally segmented your brands, right? So we understand what they're all about. I think that was a challenge, and I think from what we've seen from some sneak peeks of American Apparel, as well as what we see today, I'm excited because I think it's on the right track.
What's some of the new stuff that you guys tweaked with American Apparel?
Well, I think one, as you know, we kind of pulled it off the market almost a year or two ago. To Mitch's point, got rid of some things where it doesn't really live, especially in this industry, right? And we really went back to what does it need to stand for? And with that, we're relaunching the 2001 Black and saying, okay, here we go here. Then we're going to, roll back out with the CVC and the tri-blend, and then some ladies styles. And we just have a calendar that kind of continuous drops coming over the next year or two. The difference now in the industry, you used to have to wait on the catalog drops, right? So you had to wait to launch kind of at certain times. We don't have to do that anymore. We can kind of keep rolling out new launches. The fleece, you probably remember the Flex fleece. Now we're kind of calling it the Reflex fleece because we're going to have some recycled fiber in it. And it's, beautiful fleece. I think it's going to be exciting and do well. But again, just making that premium blank for that, and we call it timeless icons.
So our customer success team, the people that are on, let's say, the front lines of sales, whether it's on our front counter or on a phone call, Zoom call these days, emails, and we have people that approach us, or we used to anyway, and they would say, hey, I'm looking for an American Apparel shirt, specifically ask for the brand. And years ago, we started shifting them away from that, and saying, oh, we're not doing that, but we can do this. What do you say? What would you suggest we say to a person that comes in asking for a similar style shirt from a different company, let's say? What do you think we should tell them is why we should go back to American Apparel or choose American Apparel? A couple bullet points.
Sure, for sure. I mean, I think one, let's start with the company and the supply chain that stands behind it. To your point about some of the past things that went on, maybe that's not part of this company. Number one. Number two, around sustainability. If you think about, and a lot of the consumers, especially when you're talking about those premium blanks, they want sustainable, responsible companies behind that shirt. And really, when you look at it and you look and say, okay, but Gildan, we own our supply chain. What I'll call from that cotton bale, almost dirt to shirt.
Right. Yeah,
so it's from that cotton bale. We buy the cotton. I know where it came from. We then spin it. We go through the textiles, and so you've gotten to see all that.
Yeah.
And when you put that story all together, it's a responsible company, and it's a sustainable product that you can stand behind, right? So you have that. You're going to have consistency because of our scale. We're not out buying the fabric, getting it at different places and cutting it and sewing it. We're owning it, and so they're going to have consistency. So I think that's another thing, and the volume. I mean, we're going to be able to, one different approach. Probably didn't have enough inventory of it in the past.
Yeah, I was going to say that seems like a big deal now, especially with having Gildan behind it. It's kind of like you do have that volume. I think that's the biggest thing with any of these, fashion forward shirts, stock issues.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah, and so you said you're going to focus on, or your original release or launch is a black tee. Is that so? Are you going all in on just some basic colors instead of like a big variety of colors? Is it easier for you to stock that?
Well, I think we'll keep adding color. I mean, we want to have the color that your customers want, because when they call in and ask you for it, we want to have that color. So we're really focusing on what do those colors need to be? Does it need to be 30? Does it need to be 50? We're really studying that out and trying to make sure that we make the colors that are needed. Well, we're probably not going to get that brand far down into the fringe, right? I mean, we have all that color in the Gildan brand, but within the American Apparel, we'll keep it tight, but we'll offer as many as we think we need to capture the market.
Mitch, what do you think about the setup last night when we previewed everything?
Oh, I thought I was blown away. Like I said, the fact that they're segmented between the brands, I think is great. I really liked the comfort colors.
Yeah.
Because I think, comfort colors is a lifestyle. You know, it's not just a T-shirt. People recognize and relate to it as a lifestyle, and I think the booth really captured that.
Yeah. Well, you deal with a lot of comfort colors in your market.
I do for sure. Yeah, and I think the other thing that I liked about the booth is that, along with just a very unique look and presentation, there's some nice facts in there that oftentimes get missed in our industry. You know, the fact that Gildan has taken that brand and what I would just say Gildanized it, so that it now uses significantly less water. It uses no salt. I think some of those things also get lost on, you know, us. But you know what? The consumer, for sure, and the retailer, those are important facets, you know, and getting those messages out are important. I mean, I'll be curious to, at some point in time, to learn more about the Reflex Fleece.
Reflex Fleece.
Just because you mentioned the recycled piece, right?
Yes.
And that continues to be important. And, you know, whether it's your shirts or anything else, I think that the thing that, you know, we went down to Honduras and we saw really a carbon neutral footprint through that manufacturing process.
Yeah, I was super shocked by that. I mean,
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting that in the trip at all. I was just expecting, let's see the process. And then how much you guys were focusing on sustainability stuff was pretty great.
Yeah, and I think that messaging is important. You know, I think it's, I think the messaging will keep getting better, and I think one of the reasons for that is Gildan's passion to do so, and I think the other reason is, you know, with the board of decorators, I really do, because of the social communication that goes on right now. You know, we can talk about the decorators later, but I think there's so much more than just, you know, the top level part about the brand that's really unique.
No, I think it's a good segment and segue into that. Is it's just like, you know, we go and we visit, and have you guys implemented a lot? That's what it seems like, as we sit down at the table and it's like, how do you guys feel? What do you like? What do you don't like? Like, how have you guys gone about that with the board as far as implementing all that new stuff?
Well, first I'll say I appreciate you guys being on the board. I mean, it's, you know, the board of decorators is important to us. So we started about 3 years ago, and, you know, it's created a community. One, you had, this is kind of a second group of board members. You have the first group. I understand some of you guys got together the other night, and I think that's great, is because it creates a community. And what it does for us is, to your point, we get that feedback, right? We get to hear what's working for you. What do you need to see differently? You know, you meet with our product people, you know, with Kevin and his group, and say, okay, you know, what are things we need to hear? What are things we need to tweak? What are things we may need to do differently? I think at the same time, it allows us to show, you know, one of the things that someone said to me the other day about the trip to Honduras, said it's kind of like, you know, Disneyland for a screen printer, because you get in there and there's all these things. I got to watch a lot of the video clips that a bunch of you guys took on the trip about things that surprised you, right? And you know, when you talk about ESG, for example, that gets lost, right? In what goes through to make a T-shirt, what we've been doing. If you go back, we started doing sustainability things before sustainability was cool, because it just made sense for us, right? If you go back all the way back when we built the biotop, you guys got a chance to see the biotop, and a lot of people don't understand, you know, how we biologically treat our water. And I'll say that water that goes back into the river there is cleaner than the water that's already in the river.
Yeah, I was pretty upset we didn't get to see that when we were there, because we just missed a hurricane, and it was all flooded out or whatever. It was muddy or something. We didn't get to go down there.
Yeah, it's one of the highlights, but there's so many. I mean, to really see it on such a scale, you know, and then see the ESG all along the way, you know, that's been managed through it. It's very impressive.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And again, the team, I would say the team throughout the company, but the team down there has done a lot of work around things like that. I mean, you probably got to see the biomass, where we make all of our steam with agricultural waste, right? And not bunker fuel or whatever, you know, and then you know, they took that excess steam coming off the process and they convert that into the air conditioning, you know. And I think the first time I was there and they said, we're using steam to make air conditioning, it kind of blew my mind a little bit. But, you know, it's how do we reuse, how do we do those things?
Yeah, I get that. is there anything that you want to focus on about the show? Because like I said, we're here. You guys have a whole new like relaunch of everything. Is there anything you want to touch on about it?
No, I think, as we talked about, I mean, we're excited about the relaunch. We hope we can get that excitement. I was telling Mitch earlier, I hope we get the same excitement that we have internally by all of you guys when you see
Well,
it.
you did. In fact, Dylan and I are pretty stoked on that crop top we saw, because normally we got to cut ours off a little bit.
Yes.
And that's
yes.
what you see a lot in the industry. You get the shirt and you cut it. Well, that's what we do. But now we were in Vegas and we saw that crop top. We were like, boom.
Right.
You don't have to cut it
wait to
anymore.
wear it later today.
Yes.
Right.
I look forward to that. Can we?
Right. Yeah.
What is?
Can I get pictures?
I mean, that's extra.
Can you talk a little bit about that? Because I know it's going to be popular for you guys.
Yeah, no, I think to your point about new products and styling, I mean, I think we're trying to be, again, talking to people like yourselves, we understand what's the market looking for. And it's, I'll say it's the midi tee. We got to be careful calling it a crop.
What's it called? The official?
A midi tee. And the reason I learned this too, right, is I'm like, can't call it a crop because most of the sororities, they're not allowed to buy crop tops in their.
So we're getting around it.
So it's a midi tee. But to your point, then they'll end up still cutting it shorter.
It just shrank in the dryer.
Although it is cut differently. I mean, it's actually sized with more sizes than most people offer, which is nice for some people that maybe shouldn't make that fashion choice, but do anyway. But it's sized, and it hits right at that waistline. I was able to get some samples of that, and I sent it out to a key account. And basically, I just said, you need to have this. Yeah. And the response was, yes, I do. And so it's actually going to be dropping on a large format in one of the airport retailers in May. But there aren't too many products that I can sell with just a, you got to have it. Right. And it's like, yes, I do. So I'm excited about it too. I think it's a cool piece.
That's great. And I think to your point about the length, we worked with all the regulations from, Greek life and all that, and said, okay, what does it need to be? And that's the reason it's, very specific about where it is, and made all the sizes to
Oh, that's smart. Yeah.
Yeah. It's funny. I've been in shops I won't name, but like I've literally seen a station where they're making crops. They have a piece of plexi, they have a slit in the plexi, and they just lay the shirt down, and they lay it down and they cut it. And they just do that for every shirt, and they print the order and send it out. But this one's actually, like you said, size. So that's pretty awesome.
I think you're going to like an American Apparel one that's coming out. That's it's actually a muscle version of it, and it's cut and then rolled under and sewn under. Right. It's
So it's a sleeveless, or is that what they call it? Not a tank.
No, yes.
It looks good on you.
Yeah, I think we saw that too when we were in Honduras. Summer had shown that, and it's got a little tuck back. So it kind of gives it some shape there, right?
Correct.
How the Gildan sleeveless, it's low down here? Is that the same way?
Yeah, no, it comes down. Yeah, it comes pretty open down the side. But to your point, it's tucked back under and tacked under, gives it good structure across the shoulder. But then, has that open. So I think that's going to be a nice addition to American Apparel as well.
And you guys focused a little bit differently on, because I saw in the booth, you have a new focus on like printability. And there's is there a new process to it as far as like getting that really good print service?
Yeah, so you've probably heard of our Easy Print before. We made the 64,000 EZ. Now we're taking that, and we're just our 980, which is the old it was the old Amble style, the 980. The 980 is going to have what we call Easy Print technology applied to it, and it just makes a great printing surface. So if you go in and look at the booth, to your point, you can see what ring spun fabric by its nature, because you want the soft touch feel, right? It's hairy, but when you go to print that, it doesn't print as well. So through our Easy Print technology process, we just make it a little smoother on the face, where that print just goes on better and pops.
You use lasers?
Lasers?
Is that the technology?
No, it's not, but it should be.
That'd be cool.
Just laser beams on every shirt.
Laser beams on it. But
just a chemical treatment. So
like
I don't know if I can say what it is because we just did. It just basically burns the fibers off, but it's a noticeable difference when you're printing with it.
It is.
For sure.
It makes a beautiful print. It really does. I mean, you do lose a little bit of the hairiness, but I like the fabric too. It's a nice smooth feel, right? And it's just depends on what you want, but the prints really pop.
Is there any other products that are out? I mean, we talked about the MIDI tee. Is there anything else that we can talk about that you want to, that's new for people to check out?
Yeah, I mean, I think, look, it's not new, but our 67,000, our CVC shirt, you know, is a 64,000, it's 100% cotton. The 67,000 is at 60 cotton, 40 poly. Wear it all the time.
Yeah.
We're adding colors to it. I think we're gonna probably do a long sleeve in it as well. We came out with our soft style fleece this year.
I've heard a lot about that. I've heard a lot of people talking about how they really, really like that hoodie.
We've been using it, and you know, I always worry about it if our customers are going to notice the difference, right? For the upcharge and whatnot, and definitely they're reordering it. They like it, you know, and again, I think they also in my industry like the colors because it's not the same color palette, you know, and I think if we just aligned with the top 10 colors that end up in the basics, it probably for me wouldn't be doing as well because I'm able to get them into some more resort relaxed. Yeah.
How does it print?
Sure. Print's great. Yeah, and again, you'll see that difference with it. With that 80-20 blend. So not only from printing, but you know, if you got a sticky color with sublimation, some different things that are concerns, you don't see it as much with that.
So is it a lighter weight then? The standard?
No, it's a standard weight. It's a standard weight. Now we will be coming out with a lighter weight fleece as well, probably in American Apparel later next year. But no, it's a standard weight. But it's just, I mean, the hand, the feel of it, and the printability. It's got a really smooth, nice face on it. Yeah.
Have you guys shown your customers much of the Gildan CVC in some of the Heathers?
Well, that's something we were talking about at the shop a little while ago because, like I said, we've heard a lot of people talking about the new hoodie, and I just need to get some of these new products in to show, and especially with this time of year, January, February, you're really focusing on, we got to get out there and do some more marketing and whatever so that we can build up for the year, and I think that's one thing. And we had a new hire. I said to her, you know, one of the best things that we do for customer service isn't to just hit someone up and say, hey, we want to print your shirts. Let us print your shirts, whatever. I like to give first. So the first thing is, I was like, hey, what can I send you a sample of? What are you interested in? So that's something I want to do is get some of those good, better, best options and to be able to mail it to them and have them feel in touch. And I think something new like that MIDI tee, the hoodie, stuff they haven't seen before, would be really good to send in a pack. So yeah, I need to call my distro and get some samples of that stuff for sure.
We'd love to hear more about that sampling process too. I mean, we've talked a lot about it. You know, we were at a little mini show back in October, and we're showing the 67,000, and there were a lot of people said, I haven't even seen that, right? And they're screen printers and customers, and they haven't seen it before. And I'm like, it's been out a little while, not long, but it's one of those things. If you touch and feel it, they're like, I'm going to buy that now. And so we need to work on our process of sampling and getting the word out, to your point.
Yeah, how does that work now? Do you mainly rely on your distros like S&S Broder types to get us those? Because we have our shop, we're fortunate enough to be in a big enough city where we have a rep that actually comes through and brings in a rack, you know, of hey, here's the new stuff, check it out. And we can touch it and feel it and things like that. Unfortunately, that's not like every month or anything. So let's say it's twice a year or once a year, so you maybe miss some of those releases. Every once in a while, we get this package in the mail from Gildan or somebody else that looks really cool, and we open up this box and there's a shirt, you know, that's new. But but like what? So I think that's actually the best way to do it. You know, like if we got, and it doesn't have to be, because I know that probably cost a fortune to have that sort of marketing with that in that box. But if we were just to receive a shirt in like a poly mailer bag that says, hey guys, check this out. This is new. You're gonna want it. Kind of like what you said earlier is, hey, you're gonna want this shirt. We would use, you know, like that would be really beneficial to us.
Yeah, no, I think it's something we did more of this past year, but I want to do more going forward. And it's really, you know, part of that's building a list of who we should get that to. Because to your point today, we're, you know, largely dependent on the distributor reps to help us make that connection, right? We do sampling through the distributors. We do some sampling, to your point, on our own. We've been trying to do these sample boxes because we do hear that you get a lot of samples, right? And you may take some people don't even, oh, it's another sample. But the cool boxes, they'll open it up, right? But we want to get that out. And so, you know, look, as we talk more, as we go forward, I'd love to hear your ideas about how we do that, because we want to get it in hands. We talked a little bit about, I know a lot of people don't have little showrooms anymore. I don't know if you guys do.
Sorry.
a little showroom,
Like a showroom.
at your shop, but what are showroom kits we should have out of new product?
Yeah.
To your point, so that people get to touch it, feel it, and then I think they'll start to use it. But that's important.
Yeah, I think a lot of times Sanmar or somebody will have a marketing spend. They'll say, hey, we'll give you $1,000. You can buy whatever you want. And so you can put it on your rack, but we don't necessarily know what to buy. We sometimes we'll just get this and that, and maybe you choose the wrong stuff. And so we need to get those key items that are trending, you know what I'm saying? And sometimes we don't know which ones those are.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we need to, like I said,
agree with that. Yeah.
We need to work on that, getting that direct contact with you guys. Again, just and we've been talking to distributors about this, getting more direct contact with you so we can tell you the story, right? Work great with our distributors, love their reps. They do a great job, but they have a lot of different products they're showing. So we're saying, how do we make sure we get our story? One of the things we did this past year, we hired a couple brand specialists that are actually traveling around the country, going into shops. They're traveling some with the distributor reps to tell the story, but then also going directly into shops just to tell, that way we say, hey, have you seen this? Have you tried this? Here's what's coming. And we're probably going to add a little bit more to that in 2023, just to continue to try to get that direct connection again, so that we can at least tell our story and show the product.
Yeah. And I think, that's one nice thing about the board of decorators. And I'm trying to give Orion some plugs here for this. So, because I know we need to talk about the board of decorators, but is that, we do get a voice to that, right?
Yeah.
And I think that's a unique experience. And I think it's, since I've been with the board of decorators and the board, the mix has shifted, right? And I think it's shifted for the better, with a lot of fresh, younger energy in the industry from that, where there's a lot of feedback. But I would encourage Gildan to figure out how to even tap into that more, because we're all different as far as when we look at new product. Like, you look at the new CVC, it's soft, it's got a great hand, it's got a nice fit. And I look at it like, hey, I've got a cotton forward blend, so now my red heathers don't look pink, they look red. And that's like, so there's all these other nuances out there too within the differences between your styles as well as brands that really to get communicated out there to everyone, to your point, and that's hard. It's hard to get it all out there. But
yeah. No, to your point, I was saying before, we appreciate the board of decorators and all the feedback and all, just a chance to trade ideas and let's continue that. And I think that's important. And we want to hear from you. You're the industry experts, right? And so we want to work directly with you. And I think the other good thing that you guys do at the board of decorators is then you help other screen printers, right? I mean, you do. You're telling us, but also it's, all the social media and the things you guys do to help new people in the industry about techniques and things they're doing. And I think that's great.
I was just gonna say, you could send us a case of everything you release every month or so we can get the word out. We'd appreciate that.
Yeah, certainly.
Yeah, I mean, again, back to the board thing, is it's kind of, been in this industry for a long time and used every brand that we thought we could use and everything. And then I got involved with Gildan on this project, and it really opened my eyes to the whole process, like going to North Carolina and going to Honduras and seeing the whole thing. It's like a whole new respect for like how everything's done. So, and then now kind of seeing the relaunch of certain things and American Apparel coming back out and new cuts and fits. And I'm really excited for what you guys got going on. So.
No, we appreciate that. If you get a chance, go by our Gildan booth. I don't know if you saw it. I don't think we talked about the VR headsets.
Yeah, I saw them yesterday.
So there's VR headsets. So, you got a chance to go to Honduras and see it, but we can't get everybody there. To your point about, it's great when you can get everybody through the yarn facilities in North Carolina. You can get them down to Honduras and they can see what happens. But unfortunately, we can't take everybody that's here at the show there. So instead we got VR headsets and we kind of shot through the process. So I think I'm hoping people enjoy those.
Well, that video we did will be out, right? That'll show kind of the whole.
I think so. Yeah, I know there's been different cuts that have been working on for releases and do some updates with that. So
yeah, I think that's the biggest thing, and working with other companies too. I think you guys are so in it all the time that it's your thing. You don't think about what it is from the outside perspective. Mm-hmm. But like I said, someone like me, been in doing this for so long, and just going in, you're like, holy shit, like all this goes into this. I never even thought about like all the steps of how a t-shirt is made, and from like cotton going through looking like a, you know, like going through the tubes, and then it comes yarn, and then they take that and it makes a shirt and everything. It's crazy to see the whole thing. So I think coming out with that video that we did of like, this is the whole process, this is the whole thing, just getting it out in front of everybody is going to change people's minds on like, oh, this isn't just this large company behind the curtain that just feeds you t-shirts. It's kind of like. So
am I hearing you say that after seeing the whole process, you're willing to spend more for a t-shirt?
Well, yeah. I'm amazed at what the price of a t-shirt is with that whole process happening.
Right, yeah.
That is the amazing part, right?
Right.
Once you see it all and the investment that went into it, to then think of the cost of the
you
t-shirt.
buy a couple $1 t-shirt.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I'm just going to put this out there. My schedule is pretty open for the next round of board of directors. Decorators.
Yes. Yes.
No, you want to be on the board of directors.
That too.
aim high, right?
We will keep that for sure in mind.
Do you guys have any closing remarks? Anything you want to talk about?
Not from my standpoint. You know, I think we covered a lot of things that we wanted to today. So I'm pretty good. And I don't know where you're at, Chuck, with things.
What do you want to do? Oh, you want to hit those?
Yeah, we can do some quick takes.
Okay.
We'll just go back and forth a little bit. We have, this only takes, they're quick. So,
Hence quick takes. We'll just ask for some personal questions deep into your personal life.
This is live, by the way. So
non-editable, right?
I'll kick it off. So sunrise or sunset?
Sunset.
Sunset.
All right. I don't rarely get to see the sunrise, so
I say both, but if I had to choose, sunset. Because your day, you know, it's complete, and now you can kick back, chill a little.
That's right. That's right.
So do these mean something? Like, does that mean we're romantics or something? Because
we'll get into. We'll send you a report. At the end,
you're going to
talk about
profile us.
We'll talk about how you guys are serial killers.
Well, it doesn't tell me what gender I'm supposed to be.
Right. Exactly. Tacos or sushi?
Tacos.
Oh, that's a tough one. I love them both. Good sushi, though. I'd have to go sushi.
Okay.
You should have said sushi tacos. I have this one in here from Vegas.
We did so much Vegas lately.
We'll just leave it in. Slots or blackjack?
I like craps, but I'm going to go blackjack just because it's an interactive game.
Blackjack.
I knew Mitch was going to be. You look like a shark for sure.
They take my money. I don't.
Yeah.
I'm not good at those games.
Let's do 2 presses or 10 presses. Mitch, this is a little difficult for you.
10.
10?
Really? Can you?
We rarely get 10.
Yeah, this is an unquick take here. This is a long take. Yeah, we want to hear why.
Now, you're talking about the number of
where you're comfortable, because like the thinking is that a lot of people get to 2 and they realize like their company's fun and they're making money and they're doing what they're doing, and then they grow and they eventually get to 10 and they're like, man, I really had the most fun, made the most profit, had the less headaches when I was back at 2.
Well, I say 10 because we've got 19 and it is less headaches.
So 10's better than 19.
Exactly.
Right.
That is downsizing.
Right.
Yeah, you don't need. You don't really think of it like that.
He's like, man, when we were at 10, it was way better than 19.
Exactly.
Oh, I lost our notes here. Back. So Dylan skipped this question. I'm not sure why. So I'm going to bring it back. Something random that brings you joy.
Oh, something random that brings you joy. Mitch, why don't you start?
I'm going to ride on my coattails on this one.
Having 10 presses.
Something that surprises me throughout a day that I just wasn't expecting.
Yeah, that's good.
And usually it's going to be an encounter with someone else. You know, just shared moment of something I hadn't expected. I always that
a new experience, not a normal routine.
Yeah, but with in the form of an exchange with someone, so a connection, right, with something I hadn't expected.
Are you feeling one right now?
So, absolutely.
Yes.
Pops everyone's eardrums.
Yeah, no, I think that's great though. To your point,
Handsome man right here.
It's kind of, seeing somebody you didn't expect to see, or meeting somebody new, and I think that's exciting.
So you're taking my answer.
Yeah, I'm going right with you, man. You said I was going to ride your coattails. I jumped right on. You gave me the opportunity.
Well, that's what's fun about these shows too. Is you mean like we come out here thinking, oh, we're gonna meet up with this person that we've seen for forever. Then you end up meeting like 10 or 20 new people. So
Yeah.
it's cool. It's cool to do that stuff. Next. Is there anything that you're reading, watching, or listening to right now that you really like?
I'm reading a book about leadership from a gentleman that my brother-in-law used to work for, but I just started it, so I can't really tell you and give it any kudos yet with that. And I was told at the dinner last night that I need to start watching some indie movies with one of the other board members. So, and I think RRR is one that I'm supposed to be viewing next. I don't know if you've heard of
this?
it. Triple R.
Triple R?
Triple R.
Is that a wrestler?
No, it's not. But it's
I haven't heard that one either.
but it's an Indian movie, and of course that's Arpana, right?
Yeah.
AP was filling us in on what's going on with Hollywood on the other side of the ocean.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be. I told her I'd watch it. So.
Okay. All right. How about you? Anything reading, watching, or listening to?
You know, I'm on a plane a lot, so a lot of it's whatever they're going to have on the plane.
The newer movies that are out?
I'm a late comer to the Yellowstone, so I just hit season 5, so I've been kind of catching up with that one. That was pretty good. Saw a little intense one. Have you seen Treason? I think it's on. It's only 5.
Yeah, I did watch that.
5
That was with
episode
what's that
series.
guy's name? The guy who played Daredevil.
Yeah, no, it was
really
pretty
good.
intense, but that was pretty good. I just finished that up.
Yeah, no, that's really good too.
What about you guys?
What I watch a lot of stuff. I just watched a really good movie. What was it called? Pale Blue Eyes was on Netflix that had Christian Bale in it. It was like an Edgar Allan Poe movie. Had a really good twist. I recommend that one for sure.
I saw that. That was unique.
It was
Yeah,
good.
it was cool.
You know how it twisted at the end? You
Yeah.
thought it was closed,
Absolutely.
and they turned it.
Yeah.
I'll have to check that
That's
one
good.
out.
It was really good. Yeah.
I just watched a documentary.
Yeah, documentary.
I just watched a documentary. I don't remember the title exactly, but it was about it's something like The Deadly Hitchhiker or something. And it's about this skater.
Is that the one with the hatchet on the front? Or
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. So it's something like The Hatchet Hitchhiker or whatever. But it was about this guy, the skater guy, who was homeless, and he came to the rescue. He's like a hero of an attack, and it went viral. So he was interviewed and it went viral. But then it just spirals into this crazy story. And so just watched it. And I just told you that, but I don't know if I recommend it.
But you watched it.
Well,
But
we
I watched it.
anyway. Yeah.
Final question. What is for dinner, guys?
Yeah, where are you going to dinner tonight?
That's because we want to come along.
That's a great question. I'm going to. I'll mess it up. La Opera. It's Italian. I think it's an Italian place near here.
Nice.
So going over to La Opera.
Mitch?
We're going to King's Fish Market tonight. I think it's
will
pretty
not be
close. So yeah, no, I don't think they have a tomahawk steak there.
No,
They don't have
it's
steak there?
Not good. Fish is very bad.
What about you guys? Where are you headed tonight?
We have a happy hour. So if you are watching this and you have the ability to go back in time,
Right.
we have a happy hour. It's at 5 o'clock tonight. Check us out. Be there. It's for
And
2 hours.
it went amazing. It was great. There was like a million people there.
Hot dog sliders.
Hot dogs.
Hot
Okay.
dog sliders.
Yeah.
Where are you having your?
Congregation Ale House.
Congregation Ale
It's
House.
right down the road.
Okay.
Is that up close to where we were?
Yep, last night.
Last night,
Yep, we
okay.
walked right by it.
Yeah.
Yep.
So
Well, thanks for coming on.
thank
man.
you very
Appreciate it.
much.
Yeah,
I really
thank you.
appreciate you having me.
Mitch?
Great meeting you, Dylan, as
Thanks,
always.
man.
Mitch,
Yeah.
enjoyed it as well, Mitch.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
All right.
Hi, my name is Kevin Freeman, VP of Product at Gildan Activewear. Happy to be here.
My name is Andy Rudman. I am founder of Shirt Kong in St. Louis, Missouri. Uncle Tupelo country.
I'm skipping me.
Come on now.
This is Dylan.
Everyone knows.
Tony Diaz from Industry Print Shop, Austin, Texas. Can't stop, won't stop.
Aaron Draplin, 49 years old, graphic designer, Portland, Oregon. Large man and a large seat the whole way down here. Hashtag.
Portland's representing twice here, so.
So what are you two doing here? Why are you at the show? And what makes it exciting for you?
Let me get a word in here, Tony. We're down here to promote American apparel and American classics specifically. The 2001, I got all this shit memorized, don't worry. Are we okay with language?
I don't care.
Yeah. We're down here to hang out, be with my buddy Tony, print up some cool stuff, give out a ton of stuff, and talk about that 2001. That's the only pitch I got. Other than that, hang out, learn some stuff. I don't know if I'm sold on the digital printing of the stickers, but that's just me. I'm a screen printing kind of guy.
Yeah.
So I brought a big pile of those. But I walked around already and got to see things that I've been using for 20 years. And that was cool, you know? Because when I go to my screen printer, he never lets me, steal that little sample book. I already got a couple of those now. So,
Well, we'll get right into that real quick, though. What do you think about, and that's kind of, we're screen printers, and we were just talking about that too, just walking the show floor real quick. Like, we haven't really got a chance to walk around a whole lot yet, but I'm seeing a lot of like DTF everywhere. How do you feel about that? Because I know you order a bunch of stuff for your own brand.
what is DTF?
It's like the digital direct
transfer.
Yeah.
What's the F?
Film.
Okay. My buddy Grizzly Wheeler is pitching me hard just to say, let's just do a little taste test. Embarrassingly, selfishly, I only know how to screen print because that's where I felt the first set of privileges to go and use a friend and do a poster or a t-shirt or some cool little, the same level of item I saw on a merch table from some band I liked in the 90s, right? Now the new stuff. I remember in the early 2000s, mid 2000s, you could just print on a t-shirt, faded. You had to print on a white t-shirt because it would just kind of go. Now listen, that's 17 years ago now. How do I get up to speed? For me to come here, I get to see that stuff up close.
Right.
But I'm still nervous about it. But here's the deal. I'm seeing samples that you can't tell the difference.
Yeah.
Not only in my dumb little print world, but definitely out in that floor. So for me to come here and say, I love to print with these guys because they can do the things I trust, there's a lot more steps. I'm going to hold on to that. But what can I do to basically lower my price on things? That's the only reason I'd be interested in it.
I think you got to the perfect point is that I'm a purist too. I started with wooden screens with a squeegee and on a press that I built from like Home Depot in my garage. And so now we have a fully automated shop, and there's a lot of skill that is involved in that too, registering and learning how to, optimize your presses. So for me, like we have just begun ordering DTF for larger color counts and things around 50 pieces, 50 and under. And I think it just comes down to that. It comes down to, price point, because we can achieve, for the customer anyway, we can get to where we need to be instead of taking up 8, 9 screens on a press and knowing what that's like. We can keep the presses spinning with other work still. And so it's not like I'm sacrificing, and that's how I'm looking at it anyway. I'm not sacrificing selling out and using this shit I don't like. I'm keeping our presses spinning with stuff we do like. I don't know if that makes sense.
I think for me, I'm sorry. I think for me, it's like you have to. I mean, we're all screen printers, designers, creatives, but also we're business people, So, and being able to the adaptability to the technology that's coming in, I same. Like I think we're just a bunch of purists in a booth right now that are like, if it's our own personal choice, we're going to go screen print it all the way. But at the same time, you can't stop progress, And it's like I think it's better to have a positive attitude, a more open-minded approach to it, and say, how can this new technology, how can I use it to benefit me? Well, as a business person, especially after these past few years, we're doing things that we wouldn't have considered doing before, and it's just like, it's a part of adaptability, survivability, and the further we go along with time, the better that it's going to get. I mean, we're talking about AI generative art and AI, writing sales scripts and all that.
They're
kind
trying
of
to
stuff.
get rid of us.
Yeah, but at the same time, like that, how can we embrace it? And how can we use it as another tool in our drawer? Because that AI is not going to replace an Aaron Draplin. You know what I mean? Like,
it's going to steal from Aaron.
but it's the thing is, it's like it's the people, it's the relationships, it's the connections that are going to continue to keep us moving forward. And how do we use these tools to elevate those relationships and make them like even that much more mutually beneficial?
Well, it's one of those things like we've talked about a bunch before, with especially with like hybrid printing and all those other things. It's just another tool in the tool belt. It's not replacing what we currently do.
100%.
It's another thing for us to better things for our customer. Kevin, do you guys think about that at all when it comes to like product? As far as, I mean, I know we do printability, but do you think about like different things with digital and pre-treat? And all
Yeah, I mean, we've been in kind of that DTG world for the last couple of years of trying to solve that, platform, which is very different across shirts and depending what machines you're using, your process and your flow. And I think the cool thing about DTF, like you said, it's another tool in the box for us as a product builder to use across different fabrics and different types of fabrics. Becomes a solution on one hand, and I'm kind of with you guys as a purist that loves just the screen printed shirt, like an old school screen printed shirt, but that's me. When I take DTF stuff to my nieces and cousins and stuff,
right.
They don't care. They kind of think it's
They want a
cool.
Disney
They don't
princess
like
full color
maybe
outfit.
They grew up on. That's what they know.
and they don't know. They don't have like the heritage of just like what I grew up on. And
We
so
want like
they're
a
more-
punk rock white print. Thick
yeah,
as,
they just
thick
think
as
it's
possible.
cool, it's custom, and it's it's the right graphic for them. So I think being open-minded to new technology and leveraging it as a solution, for us, like it's great. You can use it for poly, so it solves a lot of things that we make that I don't need to create another product to solve. The technology is really good, and I think if you think of where it is, where DTG was, like today they're much further along as a solution than maybe DTG was. So I think it's a good thing for the industry. It's brings more people to the table, gets more people into the industry. So
100%. The technology now is different than it was 2, 3, 4 years ago, and like it's just going to keep getting better. And how can we use it? We don't want to turn away the client that needs 12 shirts if we can make it on DTF and turn it out and make the money and solve their problem as well.
And I don't know about you guys. For me, I guess it's when do you use it versus like when you're selling
Absolutely.
something. I think that's maybe the thing that, especially if you're ordering online, when does it get applied and when does the customer want it versus that's the best option for the price. And that's what I think is a little bit blurry to me right now.
Selfishly, if I want to go toil away making these delicate screen prints and stuff, I'll do that. But when the client calls, you act, you jump. So what was really fun for me was the client calls, they know their budget, they know their timing. What was cool about that direct stuff for me, I made them like a little color wheel guide. Print me 2 of those, white t-shirt, dark t-shirts. I can just see, and then I can go back to the client and say, here we are at the height of the technology, 5 years ago. Take a look at how this reacted on the black. Let's make your design around this, this, and this, because they have a sample on their end, and that's how we tricked it. And that's no different than when I was doing my first bunch of like screen prints, just to see how the opacity of the inks were working, because I liked bucket colors. Like when I would go down with these guys, it's like I don't need someone toiling over some minutia of a Pantone print.
Right. 7143.
Orange 21.
Yeah.
Just take a glop of it right now. Because it's about how do I get in and out of their hair? What's the most effective? So listen, the way I attack that stuff when a client comes after me is I'm always concerned when your daughter gets that thing, does it look okay? And how do we trick it? Me telling this half-ass story to these guys who are just selling me this stuff out there, in one ear out the next, they're showing me the latest and the greatest. I'll use that same technique again only because I'm nervous. I know what I can trust in these archaic ways.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. I go to my printer now, and he'll just kind of say, which one's the dig? And we're talking just offset printing. I can't tell. I'm tasting paper. I'm crinkling shit. I'm looking at a microscope. Can't tell shit. That's cool for me, If I can save 70% on the job, I'll do it. Because all it means for me is I get to lower my prices. And, when you go to the merch tables now and the guy says, screen printed, $50, I'm down with that. With that, That's cool. I mean, if that's where it's all going. I would much rather have a kid come to a merch table and be able to afford all the shit than be turned away by a bunch of these fucking Melvins. If the Melvins are listening right now, I know what they do. Where do we look? If the Melvins are listening right now, I know what you do. I've been a fan since '92 with you guys, and they print this persnickety shit, and to get a Melvins record at the merch table, and they're $90 to $100 now. fuck it.
Yeah.
Sorry. Anyway,
I like that. I think that's an interesting notion, actually, the bucket color thing. I'm a fan of bucket colors. And when you said that, it made me think. I was like, if we could have, or what would you think the perfect amount of ink colors at your shop would be, like 30, 40, 50? Because sometimes I see brands come through and they'll spend an hour trying to decide on the nuance of a color. And I'm like, that's not what's selling your shirt.
Making enemies over something that you get, and I'm oblivious to what has good contrast.
I've had somebody reject an order,
Of course.
for just a shade. I'm like, hey, that's not what's selling that shirt. It's the graphic, or it's the shirt, or whatever. And so, what do you think? Like, wouldn't that be super rad if we could just have 50 buckets of ink? It's repeatable. I mean, yeah, we mix colors pretty close, but sometimes it may be off. But it would be a repeatable, easy. You don't have to put anybody on. Just open the bucket and print. Well, that'd be cool.
Well, I think it's a learning process through restraint and being open to how to get in and out quickly. I learned with my guys, why dick around with all this other stuff? I know what works, and because the last thing I ever want to be is a pain in someone's ass on any level, in the moment. You only get one chance to print it, keep good distance between the colors. So we land on the same stuff over and over again, but it's an education. I've been in that industry. You can do whatever you want. It's Willy Wonka. But you can tell the ones that have the most paint flecks and stuff on them, because that's the one they're using to get the job done, So I gravitate towards that because you can trust it.
I think it's super smart of you as a designer, and I don't think enough designers do this, where, like you said, like, you knew the technology was coming out for digital or whatever it is, and you say, hey, here's a color wheel, pick it, this is what it looks like on black or white, because a lot of designers are just creating whatever the hell they want. It goes to someone like us who has to screen print or digital or whatever, depending on quantity and what they want to pay and everything else. And then your artwork looks like shit because it was on a different medium than
I've just been there watching them toil over it.
Right.
And some guy having to run back, another little glop of something, and it was a hot day, it was a cold day, the ink reacted differently, and we're toiling over this shit. You're breaking someone's heart. The stuff I've had the biggest problems with wasn't necessarily color, it was shit that was crooked. Because I make shirts that are 2X up to 5 and 6X, and then the guy throws it on there half-ass. It was a $10 blank. So I go in to say, I know you're going fast. You got to pay for all those tattoos some which way, but I'll hang out because I'm only doing 17 of these, and let me get them all right because I'm selling them to big boys.
Right.
That thing's all wonky on there. So here's the deal. I learned how to roll with that. You make a circular graphic, and its fudges a little bit easier. See what I'm saying?
Right.
So the ability.
it.
That's smart.
You're a screen printer's designer.
Well, the ability to just get it out of his fucking hair, and then you
Right.
say, "Cut me a little deal," and then we're working. See what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, that, and
The
we,
blank spaces. I like to fill the holes,
Right.
the blank, empty voids when the guys aren't busy. Let me know, and I'll fill that space, and it'll be easy peasy. Okay, I'm done.
That's awesome.
No, I'm say the same thing. It's like you're at a merch table, and there's not going to be anybody that walks by that merch table and says, "Man, if that was PMS 256, then I'd buy it." Nobody. That's never happened in the world, right? It's and we do a workshop at a creative conference called Crop Cons. It's called There Will Be Bleed, and basically like what the first part of the workshop, it's like printer and designer talking, and what's amazing and the reason why we focus on that part is so that way we're talking to designers, we're talking to creatives, and it's like learn the process of the project that you're working on, like so that way we're both on the same page. Like working with Aaron Draplin, working with Morning Breath, these are guys that like hold squeegees, mix inks, burn screens, but they're also making work for some of the biggest brands and bands in the world. And so they, it's like those are the best clients, relationships, projects, because we're on the same page as to like what's expected and how to get these things out.
What's your solution to a customer that just doesn't care? Like let's say that they have a brand and they're all about marketing. Like that's their thing. Like they're an expert marketer for their brand, but they just don't care about your problems. You know what I mean? Like our problems, the printer's problems. Like you just said, oh, isn't it? I design a circle and it can't be crooked, let's say. Like have you ever somehow converted somebody to say, hey, and show, it's like bring them into your shop and give them a little shop tour or something, and then say, Like what have you done ever that's convinced somebody to care a little bit more? Because in the end, like they're going to get a better product.
When I got to see it up close, to see how fickle pulling that screen was on a skateboard in 1990 or whatever it was, to see how much, one little hair could throw everything off. It was kind of cool too. But I got to see it at its most crustiest. Hey, to answer your question, if their paycheck's big enough and they want to put me through the rigmarole, I'll play that game. But I'm going in day trading with the guy who's actually doing the business to say, how do I sell them? What's the easiest way in and out? You tell me. If that direct thing is, like my buddy Grizzly Wheeler, he does all these things on, out of South Carolina with big clients, big things. We're the crusty little things. We're the flies to swat. I understand that. We get visibility for him. But when someone rolls in, they just want 1,000 or something. He does those. I don't even know what they're called. They're like the print them out things and cut them out.
It's the DTF.
Okay, okay. See, I apologize to anyone who's listening who does this shit all day long. I've never seen that. I've only seen it printed on the shirt. There's this new thing. And so he's pushing me to do that. He just sent me a sample. I couldn't tell. And it was on this nice thing. So I'll do that. What it allows me to do is these pre-orders get weird. I just did a pre-order at Christmas. I sold 2 T-shirts. 2. So we're going to do 10 because I want a couple of them. And I got to fulfill the 2.
Yeah.
Someone's going to see it later on and say, let me get one of those. But we sold 2. Last Christmas, the one that just walked by, I sold 300 of those. And it was black and orange. But with Grizzly, he said, obviously, dark ink on this thing, and olive will work great on it. You tell me what works, I'll design around that. But that took a long time for me to get that sort of enlightenment, to understand that it's a dance. It's a dance. So when they come in hot, I just warn them. If you piss these screen printers off, you are adding time to our job. I can take it.
You can't piss Josh off, though. Josh, sounds like you're doing a great job. We love you.
I would say that, like, to that, it's like, how do you convert a client? For us, like, we enjoy the challenge. We know, like, I think we also know, like, when to hold them, when to fold them, and but I think embracing the challenge and trying to figure it out, as opposed to just being like, that's what it is. It's a screen print. I really don't take very well to that being like an excuse. And I think that, like, pushing to, like, okay, you know what? This needs to be Pantone, whatever, 1, 2, 3. But when you mix it per the formula, et cetera, you got all the .0000, $1,000 scales like that we do. We mix it, but then it's not 1, 2, 3 when it's on an underlay, or it's not 1, 2, 3 when it's on an underlay and it's on a this color shirt and that colored shirt. And so it's like, well, how do we make it 1, 2, 3 with all of those variables? Is it making it 1, 2, 4 on the underlay, or whatever the case may be, and like pushing the staff to be able to say, like, it's not impossible. How can we continue to make it work? And then, pay me.
Yeah.
Like, we got this. It's fine. This is what it's going to cost. And so, like, as long as we're getting paid for it, man, we'll keep tearing down a job if we need to. Tear it down, set it back up, tear it down, set it. We're still getting paid.
Do you guys ever get breakthroughs when doing jobs for a customer that, no, that's really hard, but you ended up doing it and you kind of found something through the process?
Absolutely.
Like is that, like, how often does that happen? And, like, that must be good value add because you're trying something different, even though it takes a while to maybe get there, or lots of mistakes, or maybe the wrong customer. But
absolutely.
Do you find those breakthroughs when you're collaborating, I guess?
100%. And there's always, it's the garment, it's the,
right.
There's so many factors, and it's a matter of, like, it work, like discharge on, like, non 100% garments, like, how well does that work? And no, that you can't do that. It's like, you can do that, but here's how you manage that expectation. You show the client, like Aaron was doing, like, got the color wheel and be like, this is how we make it work. And so, like, managing the expectation up front.
Yeah.
But after the fact, see, my Midwesternism, I don't get too hard on them at the very start of things, like, and this is how it's going to be. But after the fact, depending on how long it took us to walk from point A to point Z, I'll go back pretty hard and say, listen, you just sent these guys on a goose chase. You spent all this money and set up and tear down and all this other shit, and you wasted their time. I'm not getting involved with that anymore, because that time you just wasted, I could have made a print for myself. My screen printer, Seizure Palace in Portland, Oregon, they only have so much time.
Sure.
When it's Pearl Jam season and they're doing 10,000 of these fuckers over the course of a month, I get to wiggle in on just the ugliest little Monday morning, right? So after that, I'll go back and say, hey, let's take some notes. What did we learn? I told you what worked. I called ahead of time and they told me what worked. This is what worked. Don't go and send them on this goose chase again. That'll get some results, because, what it comes down to are these broken emails and power plays. Well, I'm the one hiring you, Draplin. I'm going to put you through this. It's pretty unnecessary, but after the fact, after I get my paycheck, then the email comes and says, either do it this way because it worked, or we're not doing it again. You just wasted shit over the course of 5 days of the week. Why are we throwing away a Friday dicking around with this stuff? What's the doability factor there? You call these guys ahead of time, find out what's doable, and then work within that. So
I think it's twofold though, because I think that like for your design style, the bucket colors are perfect because it's a lot of spot color stuff. The reasoning, like in our shop specifically, because we do a lot of high color count, is the mixing of every Pantone and everything else is because you're doing a lot of blends, you're doing a lot of realism stuff, or you're doing a 14 color sim process, and you want to get those gradual steps from this color to this color without it being like red to orange. You want to hit like 3 different mixes in between or whatever to get that fade or that shade to where it doesn't look like a hard halftone in between. So I get what you're saying on both ways. I mean, every screen printer likes the idea of being like, here's 12 colors to pick from. I only have to buy these 12 buckets.
Well, what I would say is if it's A and B at that point, you're going B the premium, you got to pay for it.
Oh, yeah. It's
See,
definitely
this is the thing. It's like everyone expects to get the A price because that's
Right.
the first thing they got when they were 12 years old
Yeah.
on some little league team. How do you work well with others, right? How do you work well with limitations? That's what all this shit's still about. They have not figured it out. There's whole city blocks out here selling you on why to go this way. We're not there yet. That's exciting to me because there's ways to wiggle within that I couldn't even tell the difference,
Out of our comfort zone is where the growth occurs, and because you asked that question about, if you do something that's different, and you grow, your shop learns something, you learn a new technique or whatever it is. And I think I used to be like that. When I first started, my philosophy was I'll take on any job, and one, because we were in a corner, desperate, we wanted to make money, pay the bills, and two, we were able to grow. But I think I reached a spot. I'm not sure when, but maybe a few years ago, where I was like, I don't want to grow anymore. Like I just want to. I want to do. Screen printers, we do this really tough thing. We sell this product and a service, and it's customizable. It's insane, really. I don't know. We're pretty crazy to do this. But along the way, we say, okay, wait, to make this easier on ourselves, we want to somehow maybe just make everything more basic and simple. And so I don't want to take on those projects anymore that I'm going to shoot myself in the foot and say, fuck, why did I ever do that? And so is that bad though? Is that what's wrong with me? To think like that now?
I think it's not it's like Aaron's saying. It's like it's and it's not or, right? It's like and. That's amazing. Yeah, let's look at business. McDonald's, right? Boom, boom, boom. It's all lines. And that's how you make money. Systems, procedures, all of these things. Like efficiency.
Efficiencies.
Yes, and that's what we all want, right? That should be 90% of your jobs. 10% of your stuff is you taking on things that are going to continue to push the limits with people that you want to do it with. You don't have to do it for just, whoever's going to call you next. Man, you know what? I don't feel like doing that. Phone rings. Oh, it's... Who the hell is this? Are you serious? Stop playing with me. Really? This is really you? Oh, and you want to do what? Yeah, no problem. I got you. You know what I mean? It's like you keep yourself open to the challenge, and that way it's still fun. It's still, and you're doing it with people that you want to do it with, that you want to do it for. And I again, it's not or, it should be and.
And I think getting older is not a bad thing because you edit better. And I felt like maybe earlier in my career, I chased a lot of things that probably wouldn't work out, or too many things on the pylon where you've got to manage the day-to-day business, but then kind of pick your points and when you can innovate or create something new, but also deliver it to the market. Because that, like, to create something cool but never see the light of day, it didn't see the light of day. And I feel like in our world of kind of making a lot of shirts, you've always got to find how it's going to fit in with all the efficiencies you're already kind of creating, and where
And
it's
for the
gonna,
masses.
for the masses, but also like how it gets through our system and processes and still makes sense, and then it also becomes a leading indicator of maybe or informing something down the road of another product. And so that it can't just be a kind of one-off. It's got to have something that maybe has connection to things you may do down the road, or improve or do better and stuff like that. And I would say, you know, there's a lot of rainbows you can chase and spend a lot of time, but you don't really get anywhere. And so just knowing that editing and knowing the value of what you're kind of chasing, and be real with yourself and be real with who you work for and what their goals are and objectives and what you're solving. I feel I'm getting better at it with older age, that I'm not kind of like, maybe I'm getting more cranker. Maybe you're right. I'd say more to know more stuff, but I feel like I'm doing a better job at editing kind of those things you chase and really spend the time on.
Right. And off of that, now that we got all our feelings out of the way and how we feel about the screen print world, what are you guys doing here? What I know you made this beautiful shirt here, and you were on the board last year.
Yes.
How did you go from that to here today?
Well, yeah, I was part of the board of decorators, and you like that, right?
Great name.
Like, I love that
Yeah.
too. I was like, no, I want to be a
Yeah,
part of
business
that.
card.
Absolutely. And kind of, you know, I extremely grateful for that opportunity, and, you know, getting to, you know, hang out, Kevin, JF, you know, and get behind the scenes of this huge brand and be able to, like, there's humans here.
Right.
You know, and going to Honduras and going back to systems and policies and procedures,
That's insane.
As a business owner, I implore other business owners to go to other businesses and see what they're doing, because going to Honduras completely changed.
Even out of our industry, like businesses, not just other shops, but just any business.
Absolutely, because you're going to find something somewhere that you're going to be
similar.
able to apply. You know, maybe that's how you're dealing with employees, or maybe that's how you're treating Mother Earth.
Yeah.
Right? Like, wow. Like, I mean, really, just completely floored with everything that Gildan was doing, and, you know, I was like, hey, look, like, I know we're done, but I'm not. And so if you feel like what I brought to the table during this past year, and it was actually like a year and a half,
Yeah.
I was like, if you feel like it was of any value to you, like, just know that my door is open. And like, I feel like we were a part of the team, but like, I want to be on the team.
Yeah.
I feel like I can bring you guys this some value that, you know, we're their audience, we're their customer. You know, the distribution is not, they're selling it to them, but like, we're the ones that are we're the influencers. We have the opportunity to tell the consumer, this is what you want, this is what you, and why you want it. Because I saw,
And now our eyes are open to how it's made, and
we saw the same people that like are printing shirts in our companies. We saw people at the sewing machines, like putting it together, like everybody's so motivated to hit their numbers and get them and done, and they were getting it, and they were happy, and it was awesome. And you want to talk about like oh, you know, you think about these huge apparel companies, you know, what are they, you know, how are they making all these humans do this work? It's got to be sweatshop. It was the coldest room that I've ever been in. It was no way there could have been a sweatshop.
It was very well.
And I'm like, and everybody was happy. Everybody was like, you can see that they were running on a click.
You know, they use steam to make the AC. Doesn't make sense, but I found that out on our last. We were talking.
No,
about that.
dude, that's what I'm saying. That whole like that everything, I was just mind blown. And so again, I was like, look, if there's anything that I can do, like tap in, I'm ready to go. And yeah, so they tapped in. I guess
are doing some live printing?
We're here, you know, being brand ambassadors for American Apparel. We are at the American Apparel booth. We got our I mean, you got Aaron Draplin. Come on now. To put this design together. It's, you know, it's exclusive, it's limited. Once it's done, like, we're gonna pop the screens.
What Pantone did you use on that design?
Yeah. How many buckets were used in this?
Void of all matter, white.
So yeah, we're here. We're printing on the OG classic American Apparel 2001, and you know, it's fun. Like, I'm super excited that, you know, the 2001 is starting to boil back up to the top.
Yep.
You know, the biggest thing for me, though, the one thing that had always stood out, you know, about American Apparel was like they were the ones. We want to talk about like an icon. An iconic. What makes something? Sure. What makes something iconic? And you know, and for me, in my opinion, I think that iconics are developed when they cause disruption, and that's my personal experience with American Apparel. It's in the late '90s, early 2000s, when I'm trying to like, I'm going to start a T-shirt line, right? Like, I'm going to go after. I can't find anything I want on the shelves.
Also made in the States. Yeah. It defied. First of all, it was really cool, but when you went one level below that, it made it in LA. That meant a lot to someone like me. Yeah. It was a premium price. You paid for it, knowing what you're up against. Anyway.
But even at that higher price, it was available to the kid, you know, trying to start a brand to like have an elevated retail garment that you're like, I want this. And then, you know, like my world, I'm from, you know, the early 2000s pop punk, going on tour, Warped Tour and stuff like that, and doing all that stuff. And it's like, your merch had to be American Apparel. Like, they set the trends. Like, these bands,
people would come to us and just say, I want an American Apparel, without knowing what it was or what shirt it was or anything.
Exactly.
They just knew.
Exactly. And they disrupted the industry, because before that, all you could get was open-ended, rough, boxy fits. Like, you can only get what was available. And so they came in, they said, no, we're changing the game. Check this out. And yeah, it's more, but it was well worth it. Nobody, people just kept buying it. It just kept growing, kept buying. And then it just sparked this like evolution of these other brands being like, oh, it is possible, right? I can't remember like the French saying, but it's the guy that ran the 4-minute mile, and it translates to after me comes the flood. So it's like, once you break that barrier, then here comes the flood. Right. American Apparel broke that barrier and allowed all these other companies to be like, oh, I want to do 4.5-ounce ring spun cotton, retail fit, you know, modern cut, unisex fashion shirt, fit, yeah. Right? So, you know, it's like, I got my 2001 on right now, and I'm putting it on, I'm looking at it, and I'm like, man, like the bottom hem, you know, everything is just like, oh yeah, I remember having this feeling like every part of this garment was like elevated. And so to be a part of like the original elevators, you know, promoting them, talking about them, you know, being on the team with them, you know, with industry, or just it's amazing I would never have thought that when I was, you know, printing these, you know, 2001, you know, shirts back in the day, back in 2001, that here I would be like, you know, singing its praises.
Kevin, how do you feel about the acquisition and the whole thing with you guys taking it over? And
Yeah, I
making it
think first of all, I mean, just on BOD, I think it's been a great sounding board for us. I think you make a great point on just the consumer versus the customer, and a lot of times we get kind of focused on the customer, but having you guys being a sounding board as a consumer and coming to Honduras and see what we do, but also meeting everybody down there, I think it's been a great connection point that keeps us grounded, keeps us honest, keeps us authentic, and continue to kind of push and solve problems, but also make great product. For American Apparel, yeah, I think for a while there we were acquiring a lot of brands. I think the culmination of this show is we're really focused on 3 brands now: Gildan, Comfort Colors, American Apparel, and really kind of bringing American Apparel back to life. It's like Tony said, it's an OG of the industry, kind of created that ring spun industry, that soft platform. So we're kind of going back and refocusing on that, and then evolving the line as we go. And so we got a lot of cool stuff coming down after this launch, and we're excited to kind of show a new American Apparel, ethically sourced, sustainably made, wherever it is. It doesn't
Right.
always mean it has to be in the U.S. to be a good product. It can, as long as it's made correctly, the right way, with sustainable manufacturing.
a lot of the great practices, a lot of the good things they
Yeah,
were
I
doing,
think,
you
I
guys
think
are
like
doing.
I'm not shy about saying Gildan can power that brand a little bit with their manufacturing, because we do it right, the right way, ethically sourced and sustainably, and I think it's a great opportunity to showcase a great brand that can be great again in the marketplace, and we're super excited. But I'm excited to have really 3 clear brands that we can dive into and really attack different parts of the market individually, and they can stand on their own. I think the booths are an evolution of kind of what you guys have talked about with us, and really kind of stepping out and changing what the paradigm of the traditional booth. It's more of an experience. It's interactive. It's storytelling. It's more than just product, which is exciting for me, because sometimes you can make a great product, but if it's not presented in a certain way or sharpened in a certain way for people, I think they don't, just looks like another shirt sometimes. So I'm excited to have, Tony and Aaron, authenticators here working on the booth, and excited about the brand and showing it in a new way. So there's a lot more to come. We still have to do a lot of hard work to win hearts and minds, but I'm super excited where we're going with it.
Yeah.
No, I like the the what's going on with American Apparel, and it's there is that it's wherever it's made, right? We're taking these basic foundations of what American Apparel was founded to be, and you guys you're growing on top of that.
Took all the best features, all the best parts of it.
Absolutely, and it's about when it comes down to it, it's apparel, it's style, it's American style, and be able to tell the American style story and being the pinnacle of defining what that is, because you have all these other companies that they got their own little 001, right? After the 2001, right? It's like, again, it's like defining American culture, fashion. Like, America is at the forefront. Everybody looks to America. Hip hop, punk rock, rock and roll. We are such a huge influence of culture in the world. And then American Apparel is disrupted the industry, made it available to everybody to have an elevated garment, and it's just continuing to tell that American style story.
I think too, there's a big vault within AA. There's a huge vault of lots of styles and stories that we can reimagine for the future and kind of update and create a new path for what it looks like. But there's a lot of good stuff in the vault that still resonates and is still good. It's just, how do you take it and update it to how it's made today and where it's made, and just the aesthetic. And I think it's a great base to build on. But
I'm really excited, because it's the focus is on the 2001, getting it out there, people talking about it, and realizing that it's there and it's available. Then what I'm excited is I want to see the flex fleece, the summer fleece, and all those
Reflex.
F497, ooh, Like I'm ready for those. The BB
That was right up there.
401s.
That was right up there with the 2001. As far as like the hoodie.
The
some good
401, the both 401s, the TR, the BB, the California fleece. Oh man, so my brand when I started, I had this clothing line, and I could just print them for days, and it kept us going. It was the American Apparel California fleece zip up jogger.
Yep, the full zip.
Had this one design on it right here, coming off the shoulder, like over the zipper a little bit. Boy, that was like, it was on TV, it was on TRL, it was on record covers. Like that thing fed for a minute, and it was American Apparel.
Yeah. Very cool.
That's awesome. Is there anything you want to talk about more about American Apparel that we haven't already said?
No, I think it's just an exciting kickoff to the season with the booth. I'm excited to have you guys in
I'll
there.
say this.
Yeah.
To whoever's listening, Tony Diaz withstanding, don't give up, because here's the deal. I got some eyeballs on me. I know it's a privilege, but I get a lot of guys who cut right down to the brass tacks and say, why are you dicking around with this screen print stuff? You can just have your people get your design off a website and then we ship it for them. But we did a couple tests on those things. They were cheaper, they were fast, but they didn't feel as cool.
Yeah.
I would rather sell less of something and have it right with the right way, and have it when you crack open that box and the shit's centered and the colors are right. It's special. I'm being pressured to go the other way. If I am, so is everyone else. So my interest in coming down here, listen, man, you could have jammed me in the Hanes or the Weimar or whatever, the auto cap. I do auto caps every now and again. But selfishly, how do I not give up? I need to know what is available out there, and I need to know what isn't, and then how I work around it. So for me to come and tell that story to a kid, hey, you can't see through this black. Because during the pandemic, the blacks were being dyed, they were all weird, and Grizzly was having some problems. We could roll with it. I want to know what's out there and tell that to these kids who are listening to me and say, all right, this is what I learned. It's not some big corporate schmorpet, whatever. I face it. I need to know what's available for me and what I can get my hands on. So if it's Gildan watching over American Apparel, I've been using Gildan for 20 plus years, right? It worked for me. So I'm down here because I'm always excited. I haven't lost that yet. I want to know what it's like to work with the crusty stuff. And then what's
right
coming.
at me when he said crusty.
But I'm probably gonna err on the side of working with my buddies always until that client calls. I need to know. So if I can tell that story in a couple funny reels and a couple of funny things to all these people who are listening to my shit, I'm gonna, because I'm learning as they are too. Yeah,
It's awesome.
Love it. Well, finishing remarks. You want to do some quick takes?
Yeah, let's do a few.
Okay.
Share, I go first.
By the way, I like the reference to COVID and the lockdowns and everything as pandem. I'm going to use that. During
it's
the
not a word to get that third, I'm trying to be
syllable,
efficient
yeah,
in
I
my
like
life.
it. Yeah.
I like the efficiencies.
Yeah, exactly. We know what you mean.
McDonald's.
Big P.
Some of these, but we also have some fresh ones. So, sunrise or sunset? Start here.
I read this stuff. Fellas, I'm 49 years old. My hair is starting to hurt. Sunrises are more and more interesting because my dad, as he got older, he would get up really, really early. Some old man shit. So I'm trying to do that. Like this morning, I got up pretty early, right? It's a tough one for me.
Did you say your hair is starting to hurt?
Yeah, I could feel it.
Yeah, I wish I had that problem. Can only dream. Yeah. Well, not everywhere. Yeah.
I'm sunrise.
Is this on?
I went to the beach this morning and took in the sun and got it all in my face, and
That's good for you. If you get a little bit of UV, a little bit of that sun in your eyes.
absolutely.
Supposed to be,
He's going to take me down to the wharf tomorrow.
Yeah.
He's going to cast me out and catch something bigger and feed the whole...
I'm getting my circadian rhythm in line. I know what it is. I know what's good.
I'm gonna go sun. I'm from Oregon, right? So if the sun rising, it's a good day if you see the sun. So I'm gonna take sunrise every day of the week.
Nice.
I'm still a sunset guy because that's just the way I work.
Yeah.
But I'm seeing that's what's coming, I guess is what I'm getting at. I want to get up early and get it all done before noon.
It's that shift. Right. Tacos or sushi?
Tacos.
Oh, come on.
Come on, man. Oh, Tony Diaz, man. Come on. From San Antonio, Texas, homie. Southeast side represent. Boy,
Number
beanie
one,
cheese
I don't like
tacos.
stacked food. Next question.
All right, we're skipping that one.
Got an answer. No, I there's too many. I love sushi, but there's too many downsides to bad sushi, so I'll go tacos. Just on the
You get a whiff of some gnarly nori, and it's all over.
I know,
Next
I know, with
question.
you.
I got tacos for everybody. Come down to Austin. I got you, man. I got you.
I did that one, didn't I? Oh no, yeah. We were just in Vegas, so this is slots or blackjack.
Roulette number 34.
Yeah.
I just hit that some bitch
Roulette's my game.
with $20 on it one time, $700. One time with 25, that's $875. One time with 30, that's what, $1050. Once a year, I get to go and all the good behavior, the other 364 days, worrying about this penny and that penny and cutting this one in half and all the angle, the dangle divided by the coefficient of the high. And I go down there and play roulette, and I won this time. And I brought back, I don't know, $1,500 or something, whatever. So roulette, that's just me.
We just learned that Aaron is also Rain Man.
Yeah, it's a yeah.
Oh, I've lost too. You know, you gamble?
Not really. I mean, I'm
What
not.
if you were to gamble?
If I would probably put money on a game, because then I can watch like some NBA,
that's good.
and I'm gonna be like, yo, I'm gonna put some money on that, and that's probably where I made my biggest windfall of any kind of like gambling. It's just like, yeah, I'm gonna put 100 on the Lakers.
I'm gonna say sportsbook is pretty good because I never thought a field goal could be so exciting or an extra point. But if you had to say between the two games, I'd say Wheel of Fortune.
Put money on
Sorry,
Wheel
I
of Fortune.
just-
We
I mean,
said
it's-
we
I
said
could just
slots
sit
or
there-
blackjack, and
I
your
know, I'm
answer
just
was
saying,
Wheel of Fortune.
But they have the it's like
Wheel of Fortune slot.
Yeah, it's like a wheel.
All right, cool.
I watched a guy win $400 yesterday in the Wheel of Fortune on the way out of Vegas.
Oh, it's so exciting.
2 days ago.
It's just good. Yeah.
It's real.
Something random that brings you joy.
Big paychecks.
It's not very random, but I can see.
Let me read. How about this? An email from an old friend.
That's a good one. Yeah. Solid. Tony?
I don't know. I'm one of those, like, I practice
Nothing's random.
gratitude and things like that on a daily basis, and so, I mean, I don't know what more random can be than just life in general.
Just enjoying it.
It's life, dude. Random. Life is random, and it brings me joy.
There you go.
Fresh snow. I don't know.
Yeah.
Like the mountains. It's too deep.
It's just getting
Wheel
away.
of Fortune. Sorry, Wheel of Fortune. What do you mean Wheel of Fortune?
Wheel of Fortune.
It's just like getting away with it. When I was a kid, we were told it's going to be stodgy, it's going to be tucked in, and it's going to be rough, right? It just hasn't been that. For a lot of my buddies, I'm super thankful for that. When these windfalls come through, it's weird, man, because I brace for, the ugly side of making a living on this stuff and eking by with little tiny bits. And that's I'll never change that mode. I think it's always stepping back. You said practicing gratitude, stepping back and just realizing how lucky we are to be on this earth, how lucky we are to be here today. I mean, just walk around here. I get to put faces to some of these people I've talked to. That's pretty cool. I think it's just, getting away with it. I feel very thankful.
Getting away with it is a good answer.
Love
I was telling my staff that we had a staff meeting, and it's like, we get to, like we have to, but like if we can think about it as like we get to work with Aaron Draplin, we get to do these things, and I think that just having that is the way to be.
I've watched him mid-bite get the phone and have to leave to go print, 2,000 shirts overnight. But that commitment, I remember the next morning seeing him, and you were like, we're lucky that we get those calls, because I can give away another night. I know a lot of people who would put this barrier and say, you don't call me mid-bite. You call me between 9 and 5. That hustle, I've seen it with these guys for years. It works. It's a rare thing,
And back to that with Andy is like, I could have said no. I know my options all the time. I know what my options are. And if it's like, oh, it's this person that I'm going to answer for, then yeah, you need that. I got you. It doesn't have to be that way all
I
the
tell
time.
that story all the time because it just shows you. I know you guys got a name, 24 people. He's doing that shit mid-bite. That's pretty cool. That's how you get ahead, right there. You know, I've seen it.
You guys remember the Plain White Tees, the band?
Yeah.
Hey there, Delilah. Well, my back has I screwed it up, and it hurts just sitting. Right now, I'm heavily medicated, playing injured, but it's okay. But I was this grateful thing, you know, like here I am complaining because I'm not getting much sleep and all of the pain and everything. And this morning when I was getting ready to come here on the news, there was this girl. Her name's Delilah, and she has had 30 rounds of chemo. And the Plain White Tees guy walks in and sings the song to her, you know, and I was like, oh man, there's always somebody worse. And so I am grateful, you know, to be here and be in less pain, I suppose, than that, you know, for sure. Here is the next question. And I think everybody can answer it, even though it's just, it's specifically about presses, but 2 presses or 10 presses, which would you rather have? But I guess you could say like big or small, or big or small, but yeah, 2 presses or 10.
10 press guy.
I've seen it work on both, but I'm usually the smaller stuff because I'm working with friends in backyards and shit like that. But when you go to the big leagues, dot your I's, cross your T's, be a good citizen, be good with your email, and get in and get out. You know what I mean? Like, if it's 10 presses, shit, yeah, get it done quicker.
That's a really tough one. I'm sorry. I don't know. I don't mean to make it tough, but it's like, you know, you also have like, you know, you're right away, you're like 10. That's more money, more problems, man. You got more HR, you got more this, you got more that, you got this. And I'm just
Are
like,
you making more money?
and exactly. And is that worth it? Right. So, I mean, you know, I have 2 right now and I'm pretty happy. Let's just go with the 2.
Okay, where are you guys going for dinner tonight?
I think we're going to La Opera for with some of our customers.
Is that the Italian place?
It's an Italian place. It's kind of up the street on the left side. So Italian, good food.
Going wherever Tony's going.
Oh shit.
Tacos.
No.
Sushi.
I'm sorry to disappoint, my man. But if you want to, you can come.
What do you mean disappointed?
I am going to Los Angeles to the Crypto.com arena to see my beloved Los Angeles Lakers face the mighty Memphis Grizzlies, led by the fearless and most astounding athlete in today's game, Ja Morant. Woo, boy,
So you're going
I'm
to watch
excited.
Ja.
I'm gonna go see LeBron James put some points up and try and beat that Kareem. I'm sitting in the section with my Lakers banners right there, right behind me. Like, yo, like I grew up loving the Lakers. I'm from San Antonio. Spurs have broken my hearts way too much, but I got blood here. I'm gonna go see the Lakers. I'm gonna get some Laker nachos. That's what's up for dinner for me.
I'm going where the guys from St. Louis are going.
And if you ever get out of screen printing, I think you go to play-by-play.
Yeah, exactly. I think that's a good call.
Well, thank you guys for doing this with us. Kevin, thank you for popping
thank
in.
you.
Aaron, Tony, we appreciate you.
Thank you for having us.
No, like for real. Like, thank you guys. Like that, like what you guys are doing, I truly appreciate that you guys are contributing to the community. You guys are building community. And this in our world where we do the same thing. Like we could be competitors or we can be community.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, like I am so happy and just grateful that you guys are doing the shirt show. And it's so much fun. Like, yo, like I wish that, like, I want to just get on a call with a friend for, like, that's what it seems like. And it's just like, it's fun. You guys are crushing it. You guys are killing it. Like, congratulations. This is amazing. And for real, like thank you guys for like it's weird. It's kind of hard. You gotta bust out of the shell and you know.
Well, it's like when we sat down, we didn't know what we were going to talk about, and here we are an hour in, and we had a fun conversation.
Goes by fast.
We just mess around.
We have 90 seconds left though.
Ready to get back out there and kiss some babies.
Aaron's got to go, so.
I mean, it's a cool booth. I love coming. When I used to go to these snowboard trade shows in Vegas back in the early 2000s, everyone would bitch about going to Vegas. I love going to Vegas. I still do, because you got to see regular people enjoy themselves, not just those who could afford it. You know what I mean? So if we're coming to this, I know there's the big wigs and shit, but I'm more interested in the people walking around, taking notes. They're going to use it in their backyard shop later on. I want to meet those people and tell them what I learned. You know, I'm one of those in some respect. You know?
We're all those guys.
Well, thank you.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
See you later.
Appreciate it.
Peace. Yep.